Gymnastics is a sport that deals with the utmost precision and grace when it comes to the mind-bending moves that athletes must perform. But like any other sport on the planet, there are times where grace goes right out the window. Have you ever wondered what a gymnastics blooper looks like? Or how the person who performed the blooper handled it? Keep watching to catch some of the funniest moments that have ever happened in gymnastics. Paul Hunt's performance. Paul Hunt is a former gymnastics coach that also performed as a gymnast clown. Throughout his career, he performed gymnastics for the University of Illinois and won the Big Ten Conference Final in the men's competition for his floor exercise. After his stint in college, Hunt decided to become a coach. While coaching one day, Paul was showing a female student how to perform a backflip, which let him develop an idea. His backflip lessons gave way to an idea that watching a man attempt to perform in women's gymnastics would be hilarious. So Paul created a character that he would carry on for many years, often going by the names Paulina Huntesk, Pauletta Huntinova, and Paulette Huntinova, and many other aliases. Paul would wear a skirted leotard and bows in his hair. The routine consisted of Paul mostly performing his complicated gymnastics routine before slamming himself hard into the mats. This was done purely for comic relief and was likely a welcome sight if other gymnasts had taken some dives during their performances. When hurt, laughter is truly the best medicine. Who doesn't like a good clown? ALJAZ PEGAN'S bar break. ALJAZ PEGAN is a gymnast from Slovenia who excelled at the horizontal bar, where he was a champion in both the world and European leagues. He was also an extremely skilled gymnast on the parallel bars. One of the funniest moments involved PEGAN during the 1999 Glasgow Grand Prix. ALJAZ PEGAN had begun his routine on the parallel bars when something unthinkable happened. The bar snapped and PEGAN was shot down to the floor in the middle of his routine. Now, we are not sure what is more hilarious, the fact that PEGAN did not know his own strength, or the fact that Glasgow's Olympic League has some explaining to do. No Olympic bar should snap when any gymnast is attempting their routine. That is downright unsafe. Had the bar been in any direction by the force of the snapping, then someone would be waking up the next morning with quite an injury story to tell. You ever hear about the 1999 Olympic maiming? ALJAZ PEGAN will go down as one of the best to ever handle the horizontal bar, and his claim to fame for the parallel bars is that he was too strong for the other competition. Literally. B on Simone's flowers. Before Simone Biles stole the show at the Rio Olympics, achieving a staggering 4 Olympic gold medals, she was winning the individual competition at the 2014 World Championships in Nanning, China. Biles had stepped on stage to accept her gold medal and was ceremoniously given a small bouquet of flowers in celebration of her win. The same was the case for the silver and bronze winners that were lined up on the podiums next to her. However, during the ceremony, a bee had taken refuge in the flowers that were given to Biles. The culprit was pointed out to Biles by silver medal winner Loria Lordache. Instead of calmly letting the bee handle its pollen business, Biles attempts to flee, only further angering the buzzing buddy. Biles is shown jumping off of the podium and attempting to race around, dodging the would-be stinging of the bee. There is a good amount of time that passes where Biles is doing her best dodge bee routine, only to have the bug come after her even further. The other gymnasts look on as they all smile at the hilarious moment in which a world champion is bested by a bee. Biles should have let the bee handle its business. SAVANNAH VINSANT'S grimaces. In this day and age, all it takes is a prominent figure in the spotlight to just show an odd face one time to have their entire life turn into a meme for the internet to laugh over for months on end. And unfortunately for SAVANNAH VINSANT, she was subject to deep memeing after she had competed as a trampoline gymnast at the 2012 Summer Olympics. No matter who competes, there are a ton of cameras pointed in their direction so that their pure athleticism and grace are captured every single moment. Those moments may not be seen in the best of light, as athletes often make faces of determination that look as if they may be changing into a monster in front of our very eyes. If you have never seen the grimaces that professional weightlifters make, go look that up, and you might get an insight into how SAVANNAH VINSANT looked during her performance. Although she was the youngest female trampoline competitor at the 2012 Olympic Games, it didn't matter. Her O face was enough to get the internet reeling for months on end. Now that you have seen a few of the funniest moments in gymnastics history, get ready to laugh even more. You don't want to miss the final 3 moments and what gymnasts did when their routines took a turn from fierce competition to pure hilarity. LUDMILLA TOURISCHEVA bar collapse. LUDMILLA TOURISCHEVA is a gymnast from Russia. She achieved a great deal in the world of gymnastics by amassing medals throughout the European and World Championships throughout the 60s and 70s, as well as achieving many medals during the Olympics. During the 1975 World Cup, LUDMILLA would garner even legendary status after performing her routine on the uneven bars. The uneven bars are one of the hardest types of gymnastics that one can be involved with. The bars are about 6 feet apart from one another, and one bar sits at 5.5 feet while the other's around 8 feet tall. You can just imagine how difficult it would be to vault your body back and forth between this type of obstacle. That wasn't the case for LUDMILLA, as she attacked the uneven bars with poise, grace, and absolute raw power. During the end of LUDMILLA's set, she came vaulting off the secondary bar, sending both of the bars jolting where they collapsed. This was definitely one of the most hilarious and boss moves that a gymnast has ever achieved. Where are LUDMILLA's glasses and the deal with it meme? Aly Raisman somersault. Aly Raisman is now a retired American gymnast. She has won several medals in gymnastics and was the coach of the 2012 Fierce 5 and the 2016 Final 5 Olympic team. She was also part of the hit show Dancing with the Stars, where she competed in season 16 but only came away with 4th place. However, that is not all that Aly Raisman is known for. During her routine for the 2012 London Olympics, Raisman is well into her floor routine and gearing up for a risky move in which she tries to flip several times and land on her feet, only to perform one of the worst somersaults in the history of the Olympic Games. Her stutter step somersault is so bad that it makes it look as though she may have been trying to turn into a transformer and roll out with the Autobots. Sadly, this is why Raisman fails to get a medal and instead falls to 4th place in the individual all-around portion of the Games. Had it not been for her awkward attempt to throw in one final somersault, or if she had stopped her own momentum, she may have ended up with the bronze. Instead, she was left with her best attempt at looking like a turtle darting back into its shell. ELENA ZAMOLODCHIKOVA flip disaster. ELENA ZAMOLODCHIKOVA is a 4-time Olympic medalist from Russia. She was also inducted into the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame in 2015. During her illustrious career, she became one of the only women to ever be able to land a double backflip on the floor. She was also known for her very risky double twisting, which led her to this moment in the Olympics. During her routine on the balance beam for the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Zamo, unfortunately, goes in for another risky double twist and ends up grasping the beam from the bottom instead of keeping herself upright on the top. The whole affair looked like a scene out of the movie Cliffhanger. Stallone should have been there to help her. Zamo was attempting a move on the balance beam known as the Rolfova, which is a move that sounds entirely too complicated to even detail. But basically, the gymnast must flip and land with their legs on the balance beam without hitting the floor or their face. The latter is what happened to Zamo. Her failed attempt at the Rolfova almost left her kissing the balance beam, and that would have been bad news for her dentist. Well, there you have it. Some of the funniest moments in all of gymnastics. Even at their less graceful moments, gymnasts look to be a lot more poised than we could ever be. Leave us a comment and let us know if you could ever hold your balance or laughter throughout this video. Thanks for watching.